Have you ever thought of one thing that you couldn't live without? Without this one thing, your life would be completely over. You could not imagine living another day without this one thing. Now, many of you might be thinking of your cell phone, your planner, or another materialistic item. But have you ever stopped to think of your heart, beating 100,000 times a day just to keep you alive? Hi, my name is Kristi and I am from the Prairie Clovers 4-H Club. After completing the anatomy and physiology class last spring at my high school and going to a cadaver lab at Cornell College in Mount Vernon, Iowa, I became very interested in the human heart. Today I will touch on the different parts of the heart and how it works, defects and diseases faced by the young and old, and how to keep your heart healthy through eating right and exercise. Your heart is a muscle found slightly to the left from the middle of your chest, and it is also about the size of your fist. Now you have muscles all over your body, in your arms, your legs, your core, and even your behind. However, your heart is different because of the very important job it carries out. The job of the heart, along with the cardiovascular system, is to transport blood all over your body. It is very important that every single part of your body receive blood because your blood contains vital nutrients that you need to live, but it also carries away waste, making your body efficient. So now that you know the very important job of the heart, you're probably wondering, how does it do that? When understanding how the heart works, it is also very important to understand the main parts of the different parts of the heart. Your heart is split into 4 main chambers: the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, and left ventricle. Your right and left side of your heart are separated by a muscular wall called the septum, located here. Your heart also contains 4 valves that control the flow of blood throughout your heart. They are located here, 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 and here. When blood is traveling throughout the body, it goes through arteries and veins. When blood is traveling away from the heart, it goes through arteries, and when blood is traveling back to the heart, it goes through veins. So now that you know the main parts of the heart, or the anatomy, you're better able to understand how the heart works, or its physiology. Deoxygenated blood from all over your body comes into the right atrium through the superior and inferior vena cava. It then goes through the tricuspid valve and into the right ventricle. When your heart beats or contracts, that blood is then pushed through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary trunk, into the pulmonary arteries, and finally it reaches the lungs. At the lungs, your heart becomes oxygenated and ready to return to your body. From the lungs, the blood is then, it then goes through the pulmonary veins back to the heart into the left atrium. It then goes through the bicuspid valve into the left ventricle. And again, when your heart beats or contracts, it is pushed through the aortic valve into the aorta and throughout your entire body. Your heart beats about 72 times per minute, depending on your age or what physical activity you are doing at the time. Unfortunately, not all of us are lucky enough to be born with a healthy and properly working heart. Congenital heart defects are the most common type of birth defect faced by newborns today. Around 40,000, or 8 out of 100 babies each year in the United States are born with a congenital heart defect. Multiple problems can arise while a baby's complex heart is forming. However, ventricular septal defect and pulmonary valve stenosis are a few of the most common. Ventricular septal defect is most commonly known as a hole in the heart. This happens when the septum, the muscular wall in between the right and left side of the heart, doesn't fully form, leaving a hole. This allows deoxygenated and oxygenated blood to mix. which can cause high blood pressure in the lungs, irregular heartbeat, an infection, and delayed growth of the child. Some babies who have ventricular septal defect are lucky enough to have a small hole. After time, the hole may grow shut. However, some babies are born with a large hole. If the hole is large, the baby's body is not able to correct it. If the baby has a large hole, it can experience symptoms such as hard breathing, paleness, failure of weight gain, murmurs, or shortness of breath. Treatment may include medication or surgery depending on the severity. Even the simplest congenital heart defects can have a large effect on the heart's valves. Pulmonary valve stenosis is the most common type of valve defect faced by newborns today. This means that the valve in between the right ventricle and the lungs doesn't fully open, making the heart pump harder in order to push blood through. Oxygen-poor blood can then back up from the right side of the heart into the left. Symptoms can include a bluish tint in the skin, lips, and nails, fatigue, and shortness of breath. Treatment can include medication or surgery and even valve replacement, depending again on the severity. Although you may not be born with a heart defect, you can still experience problems with the heart, such as heart disease and heart attack. Even though you may live a healthy lifestyle, your risks are heightened if you're a male of older age, it runs in your family, or you're postmenopausal. Heart disease is a broad term that classifies multiple kinds of diseases that affect your heart. Some include narrowed vessels, blockage of any part of your heart, an irregular heartbeat, or infection of the heart. Heart disease is often caused by high cholesterol, obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, lack of exercise, and again, if it runs in your family. Symptoms of heart disease are chest pain, shortness of breath, irregular heartbeat, and dizziness. Treatment again includes medication or surgery depending on what type of heart disease you have. Unfortunately, most of us know or have heard of someone who has had a heart attack. Every 20 seconds, somewhere in the United States, someone experiences a heart attack, causing a death every minute. Many of you might have heard of a heart attack, but you might not fully understand what it is. A heart attack is when part of the heart is blocked from receiving blood. That part of the heart when that part of the heart doesn't get enough blood, it can cause that part of the heart to become damaged or die. Symptoms of a heart attack include chest pain, dizziness, shortness of breath, and heavy sweating. If you ever experience such symptoms, don't wait for treatment. Your life can depend on how fast you get to the hospital. Treatment can include medication, oxygen therapy, which helps the heart work easier, and surgery. Fortunately, we can take steps to living a healthier lifestyle, which can help the health of our heart. By eating healthy and exercising, you greatly reduce the risk of ever experiencing a heart attack or heart disease. When eating a heart-healthy diet, you want to control portion size. What you eat is just as important as how much. Your diet should contain lots of fruits and vegetables because they contain vital nutrients such as minerals and vitamins that your heart needs to stay strong and healthy. You should also try to eat whole grains, which contain fiber, and fiber helps regulate your blood pressure. Just as there are foods that you want to eat, there are also foods that you should try to stay away from. Foods high in sodium are bad for your heart because they contribute to having high blood pressure. You should also try to stay away from trans and saturated fat because they can contribute to high blood cholesterol. When eating a heart-healthy diet, it is also important to exercise. It is recommended that you exercise 20 to 30 minutes 3 to 4 times a week, but should always try to ease into an exercise plan. Start by taking the stairs or just getting outside more. If you ease into it, you're more likely to stick with your plan for a longer term. Your heart is a complex muscle. Today, I hope you have learned the different parts of the heart and how it works, defects and diseases faced by the young and old, and most importantly, how to keep your heart healthy through eating right and to exercise. Even though some of us aren't able to be born with a healthy and properly working heart, those of us who are shouldn't take it for granted. Without your heart, your life would be completely over. Any questions? The question was, what am I doing personally to choose a healthy lifestyle? I've started eating a lot healthier after last year and just trying to get out more, do more physical activity. I've also randomly decided to join cross country this year just to keep up my physical activity. Just small lifestyle changes that before I didn't pay attention to. Any more questions? Thank you.